Yo, what's going on, guys? Riot here, watching this Goji Center video on Godzilla killing a bunch of humans because it sounds hilarious. Godzilla doesn't kill a lot of humans often, but when he does, he really wrecks their shit. It's beautiful. Make sure to subscribe to Goji Center down below. They're about to hit a freaking 500,000. Leave a like, subscribe here too, and let's do it.
Welcome again to the Titan Observatory.
Oh,
Today,
shit.
we will uncover the secrets of what is possibly the most elusive Titan in the Monsterverse. Elusive because this Titan is actually right in front of us.
What?
You just can't see it yet. Let's see what we can do about it. Initialize Sonic 3-dimensional mapping protocol. Let's see if that works. There we go.
You
Ladies and
sneaky
gentlemen,
bitch.
Titanus Nakika.
This is another comic I unfortunately haven't read as well, just because, I have no excuse other than the fact that I'm a lazy bastard. But, I'm so happy to be watching a video on it, so now it just gets explained to me in this action voice.
Like the previous video in this series, this episode will be divided into 3 parts. Nakika's origins, its insane story in the Monsterverse, and then we'll conclude by going over its special abilities.
Oh my
Right
god.
now, let's very quickly find out where the name Nakika originates from. So this Nakika was actually a deity worshipped by the Kiribati natives found in the Gilbert Islands in Micronesia.
Gilbert?
This god of theirs was the son of Naatibu and Netukez, and the one responsible for putting together this set of islands.
I'm so happy I don't have to pronounce a single name this entire video. I can just walk, I just kind of carefully step around pronouncing anything. It seems so difficult.
The most important thing to note out of all of this is that this deity resembled an octopus, which is probably why this particular Titan was named Nakika. Earlier on, this Titan was also referred to as Kraken, another slightly more popular name sourced from Norwegian folklore.
That's what's
According to their
Kraken.
mythology, this was a large cephalopod sea monster that haunted the Norwegian and Icelandic ocean waters, whose territory stretched all the way to Greenland.
Which is confusing, because what was that thing that Kong ate in Kong Skull Island, which was, I guess it was like, honestly, I thought that could be classified as a Kraken, but I guess it was just another kind of giant octopus.
So, very cold water. Remember these 2 facts as we move on to the next part. That's all we really need to know about the mythology of this creature. Now, let's move on to its history in the Monsterverse. Even though this Titan was not showcased on the screen, it actually had quite a sequence in the official novelizations.
That's
In
what I
the King
figured.
of the Monster adaptation, it's mentioned that Nakika was discovered not too long before the events of 2019. Its discovery was so recent that 1, it had not been given an official name yet, and 2, its outpost was still secret even within Monarch.
Interesting.
See for yourself, you won't be able to find this outpost on Monarch's website.
I do freaking love the Monarch website. He could track down all this stuff like this. This is very interesting why it's not there. It actually doesn't even appear yet on the Monarch website. That's, if anyone doesn't realize, this is very interesting information.
Not long before 2019, an expedition team ran into some weird bioacoustic signals that were being emitted by something somewhere in the Indian Ocean.
It's like the
They
worst
couldn't
thing you
see
could
it,
have.
but they knew it was there. It was not until they had finished building a facility around it that they finally figured out what it might have looked like. The novelization tells us that this kaiju was found wrapped around a sunken Russian submarine that had gone missing. The facility that was built around this monster was a floating facility with just enough buoyancy to float 30 meters below the water surface. The main parts consisted of labs, observation decks, and living quarters were found in these 2 places. To get closer to the Titan, you had to travel through the tubular elevator shafts that took you right next to Nakika.
Oh, shit.
Like the other Monarch facilities, this place had a containment field that prevented the Titan from escaping, and the infamous kill switch. Now that you know how this Titan was contained, let's find out what happened after Ghidorah told all these Titans to wake up.
I just zoned out like crazy. I just learned so much. It was like asleep around this nuclear sub, and they just constructed the base around it. You kidding me? This thing probably almost got us into a freaking Cold War with the Russians. Like, yeah, bullshit. Our subs keep disappearing. You keep sinking them. We're like, no, dude, it's monsters.
After
Cold War,
Ghidorah's
man.
call to arms, all Titans from all over the world began to escape from their enclosures and wreak havoc in the surrounding populated areas, including Nakika. But this guy did things differently. The facility built around this Titan was able to find out a few strange things about Nakika. This thing had a huge brain, a little bigger than necessary. And apart from that,
That's
it
so
had
dangerous.
several other brains that controlled each of its tentacles.
That's even more
Meaning
dangerous.
that this thing wasn't just huge and powerful, but extremely intelligent.
That's so dangerous.
We are about to find out how. Unlike the other titans that were beginning to wake up, like Methuselah, Scylla, Mukele Membe, and Behemoth, this
I guess it makes sense, because if it resembles a giant octopus, aren't octopus like one of the most intelligent species on the planet? It's beautiful.
titan actually began to shut down, or die. The people in the facility began to get suspicious on why this titan was dying on them. As they were figuring things out, one person in one of the lower observatory decks managed to get a good glimpse of Nakika opening its eye and staring right at him. The scanners, however, picked up a dead kaiju. But no, this guy wasn't dead. It was playing dead.
What?
Why? Believe it or not, Nakika was so intelligent that over time, it determined that the containment field only worked on living titans, not dead. Something the Monarch crew didn't even realize.
Oh my god.
So this thing manipulated its radiation signatures to appear as if it was dead. This allowed Nakika to literally slide out of its containment facility. But it was not finished.
That's
It
gangster.
had orders to follow. The novelization tells us that Nakika broke the shaft that led to this specific observatory deck, and with its long, thick tentacles, it literally dragged down and sunk the entire facility
Oh my God.
in a matter of moments.
That's like my worst nightmare, is being deep underwater and then somehow being exposed to the pressure and like the just underwater environment. I didn't even realize how horrifying that containment was, dude. Being an underwater kaiju containment facility is so dangerous.
Nakika proceeded to continue its path of destruction, sinking any surrounding vessels or other floating craft.
Oh, God.
This is Nakika's role in the events of 2019. But Nakika was about to do something even more impressive. If you are enjoying this video, please take a split second to like this video.
I already liked it, so my conscience is clear. You guys should definitely go leave a like on the actual video. Did I just see pectorals right there? Look at that freaking pectoral right there. That's a nipple, dog. That's a man's nipple right there. What the hell's going on right there?
If you are enjoying this video, please take a split second to like
That's a
this
titty.
video and hit that subscribe button. And check out our merch if you haven't, including a poster that features this Titan.
Hey, check it out. I don't know if you guys can see. I have it set up right next to the Deadpool and Judge Dredd helmet right there on my wall back there. It's freaking dope, dude. And it is. It's right on there. It's actually insane because according to that, the Warbat is honestly, it's crazy. You guys gotta check it out. The Warbat is insane. I feel like Godzilla vs. Kong didn't do justice on how big it is.
That's it. After Godzilla's victory in Boston, the world was a completely different place, with most of the major cities destroyed and their governments going nuts. Many people started to get a little too confident and decided to take matters into their own hands. One of these people,
Oh,
named
shit.
Manch Rivikov, led an expedition to capture Titanus Nakika using some borrowed military equipment and some abandoned Monarch containment supplies they picked up along the way.
What a gangster.
We are now in the Sea of Okhotsk, a cold ocean where Rivikov found this octopus-like titan.
It's a Titan trafficker zone in the bottom corner. You telling me people are trafficking Titans? Like I guess with Monster Zero's head was basically trafficked, so the rest could. Yeah, I
Like
get
the
it.
Norwegian myth, this kraken can also dwell in frigid waters. But now, only to get caught by these now labeled Titan traffickers and
Yeah.
contained underneath an oil rig. Now, how did they manage to contain this kaiju this time? The previous containment field was energy-based. These guys went with a more rudimentary method to trap this kaiju, a giant net.
Bastards.
Yep, Monarch had a lot of these. The novelization continues to tell us that a certain individual approached these men to purchase Nakika for a substantial sum. As the
Bitches.
transaction was taking place in the oil rig, the submarine crew in charge of monitoring Nakika picked up an alarming signal. Enter Godzilla.
What was
Now,
that
hold
view? That
up.
was crazy.
Why did Godzilla decide to show up at this very moment? The answer, Nakika cried for help. Yep, knowing very well that it ran out of options, this Titan's next move was an attempt to summon the newly crowned King of the Monsters. And quite frankly, this was the best move anyone could pull off. Godzilla
He's my
proceeded
hero.
to release Nakika by ripping the net using his strong forearms. But these guys now wanted to trap both kaiju. Depth charges were sent down to try to disorient Godzilla, followed by an attempt to trap the G-Man with another net.
You dumb bastards.
Godzilla did not take this lightly. At this point, Nakika was now set loose and was free to roam once again. But Godzilla wasn't finished. After destroying the net that was launched at him, the G-Man now swims towards the submarine and slices it in half. With half his crew gone with the submarine, Rybakov now orders the nearby choppers to fire toxic gas at the G-Man in an attempt to weaken and then trap him, which is how they were able to capture Nakika earlier. But this did not work. Godzilla now swims underneath the oil rig, and with its most powerful weapon, the G-Man impales the entire oil rig with its atomic breath.
Dude, this rendition of this comic is so freaking insane right now. These sound effects and voices and music, there's too much going on.
Killing everyone on board, including Rybakov. We'd like to think Godzilla was already pissed even before finding out Nakika was captured. While trying to trap Nakika, these guys have left a trail of death and destruction, killing an entire pod of whales.
Oh my god!
This is the last time we hear about Titanus Nakika in the Monsterverse, but its story gives us a lot to learn from. Let's now enter the analysis platform.
Those bitches killed a bunch of whales? Oh my god, I didn't even realize this. I feel like a nerd for not reading this comic. I really ought to glance it over. I own them all. I just sitting down for like 30 minutes straight is the hardest thing on the planet for me.
Titanus Nakika was obviously a strange-looking kaiju. Believe it or not, this guy had an internal shell that covers its extra-large brain casing. But it also had an external curved shell that protected its main body. It was mentioned by the illustrator of this kaiju that this shell was probably lost between the events of 2019 and GVK. But back to the brains. Again, as mentioned earlier, it's believed that this Titan was probably one of the most intelligent in this kaiju universe.
This dude resembles freaking Calvin so freaking much to me from the movie Life. You guys ever seen that Calvin little alien that like grows? They like discover its little cell form, whatever. It's so identical. It's crazy.
To its oversized brain and additional ones found near its tentacles. But the craziness does not stop here. In addition to having many brains, this Titan also houses several hearts. In the real world, cephalopods such as octopuses and squid have additional hearts known as gill hearts, which serve to pump blood to their gills, which so happens to be green. It's also believed that this kaiju can regenerate almost every part of its body. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this is no ordinary kaiju. We aren't done with Nakika.
Woo!
So far, we have been referring to Nakika with male pronouns. But it's mentioned in the official novelization that this kaiju can actually change from male to female.
Oh,
and
shit!
Going as far as being able to be both at the same time. This isn't the only thing it can shift. In the beginning of this video, we had to initialize the 3D sonic mapping protocol. This is because Nakika can not only change its colors, but make itself invisible to the naked eye and go a step further and manipulate its radiation signatures to simulate a dead state.
This thing could be a dead woman or an invisible man at the same freaking time. That's anarchy, bro.
Perhaps the most important takeaway in this episode is how this Titan was able to emit a distress call and have it answered by none other than the G-Man himself. Meaning that Godzilla held this Titan in high regard. Had this been another Titan that Godzilla disliked, it's probable that the G-Man would have ignored these distress calls.
Well, he went and helped out Behemoth, right? When he was fighting that one thing I could never remember how to pronounce, like the creature from Oregon, the giant plant monster, which, because Behemoth plays a crucial part in the ecosystem, I guess was like the general consensus. So it had to be, he has to have a reason.
But did you know Godzilla had helped other kaiju against other malevolent Titans?
There we go, I was just saying that.
Take a look at these videos, including how Godzilla taught Titanus Amulek a well-deserved lesson. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.
This ended out of nowhere. I thought there was so much more going. I'm so out of it today. Either way, this video was so freaking awesome, dude. Just like showing comic clips, but like with sound effects and moving screen and awesome action voice, the thing I wasn't able to say earlier. I enjoyed the shit out of this video. Also, always crazy to hear about all the stuff humans are doing in between the movies, because obviously they're gonna try and bag and steal all the kaiju. They're all up for grabs right now. It's so cool to see how the world is just like in shambles, and Godzilla's just the sheriff straightening everyone out. Yeah, I love these videos so much. Yeah, subscribe to Goji Center, link down below. Leave a like, subscribe here too, and I'll see you next time. Peace!